Yeah. So what are we talking about here? No. So you mentioned something, you touched on something that struck a chord with me, and that is the question. I don't know whether you actually ask this or just sort of metaphorically pose it, but what are you willing to lose to test this?
Mhm.
And I think with any form of marketing or advertising, I think the ROI at the beginning is very poor. And I'll be
Mhm.
the first to admit that, typically speaking, right? So you've got this investment with very little return. And then it's got this dinosaur tail that eventually starts really yielding, results. But that takes patience typically in the advertising world. Is that true here? And how do you preach patience, and how do you achieve patience from maybe a skeptic client who's just starting this and they're like, I want to see the clicks, I want to see the conversions?
Yes. Yeah. So I usually will ask them whether they've ever done any sort of investing in the stock market or otherwise, and remind them that this is really, it's a little bit of the same. You have to be able to be willing to risk in order to get those rewards. And this is not crypto investing. It's usually going to be a much better ROI that's more consistent. But yeah, it's going to be investment. We're going to have to take some risk. The more risk we're willing to take up front, the quicker we can get over that trough that's going to happen in performance, so we can get that data very quickly. If we come at it very conservatively, it's going to take quite a while, especially if you don't have a lot of clicks that are coming through, if you don't have a lot of conversions coming through. It's going to take us a long time before we have statistically significant amounts of data to actually make confident decisions in where we should be moving our budget to, or whether this is a good channel for us. I'll throw in one extra thing, which is, if you're going to be looking at your budget like on a monthly basis or annual or quarterly basis, also consider dynamic budgets. So I think a lot of clients or businesses come at this and they think the max I'm willing to spend on Google Ads is, let's say, $10,000 a month, or maybe it's just $1,000 a month. Also consider, if you have a very set bucket of money that you can spend on Google Ads, for example, you don't have to spend it evenly throughout the year. You can approach this more dynamically. If you notice there's some seasonality in your business, let's say you're an accounting firm and around April things skyrocket, cost per clicks go up, don't spend the same amount every month starting with January. Make sure that you're spending more in those months you expect some kind of peak seasonality, or for costs to rise and conversion rates to rise. Very important.
Okay, Curtis, I heard the term statistically significant, which is my cue to toss it back to you.
Well, okay. So there were a couple of great points I heard out of that. The first thing, first I'll have you elaborate, Cory, and then I'll go into the second thing. You mentioned quality scores, which for those who aren't in that PPC world don't fully understand. So I want to clarify that, but it's super important. So instead of me explaining it, I'm going to let you explain what.
Of course.
I mean, I know what it is,
Yeah,
so we're not testing me here, but I want to explain quality scores to those who don't know, and how it's a huge factor, I think, honestly, in selecting or holding your vendor accountable. If you are using somebody to manage your campaigns for you, their job is to look at quality scores and making sure they're optimizing your campaigns to get the most out of your budget. So
yes,
explain what quality scores mean real quick.
I like to think of quality score as, well, it's a score, it's a grade, right? So Google is going to look at your landing page, your ad copy in your ads, and the keywords that you're targeting, as well as factoring in some bids and budgeting, to essentially just give you an overall score for each keyword that says, out of 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. How well is everything fitting together? How well are the keywords you're targeting? Are those in the ad copy? How well do we think this ad copy will be received by the target audience? How well does your landing page help answer the question of the search? These are all the questions these are all the factors that are weighed into that score. The better that score, Google's incentivizing you to get that better score by lowering your average cost per clicks. So that's something that's a big factor, especially for any lead generation based account.
So let's say the platform, Tom, is telling us it's $50 a click for that window campaign, and we're at a quality score of a 3. We go and improve that to a 7. We could be down to like $25 or $30. Yeah. So 7's really that like target, if I'm right, Cory, of like at least you're paying you're not being penalized in a way for your quality scores at a 7. Yeah. If you get higher, you're likely paying lower than a lot of competitors, but if you're down to that 1 to 3 range, you could be taking a big hit. And the thing is, it's a smart thing for Google to do, because a lot of people want to, let's say, bid on a competitor name, and you're going to get sort of penalized for that competitor name because you can't use their name in your ad copy. You can't use their name on your website. So you're going to get that lower quality score. So you're going to have to pay more than the actual company who owns that name for that bid. So it's a smart thing to do, but it also holds us accountable to like have quality inside the platform, and
Absolutely.
not, it doesn't get, filled with a bunch of garbage.
Absolutely.
Hey everyone, it's Tom from Bullhorns and Bullseyes. Just a quick time out here to humbly ask you to take a moment to hit the like button on this video and to subscribe to the channel. Just do it right now while you're thinking about it, if you don't mind. It helps us grow the channel, and as the channel grows, we can continue to get great guests. So do it now, and we thank you.